To begin our study of the biosphere, we have to go over a few main principles we have to understand the biosphere. First, photosynthesis. You know this. Carbon dioxide plus water with sunlight, plants can turn into sugar or glucose, C6H12O6, and oxygen. Now, CO2. What do you have to know about this? It's bad for humans, makes the ocean acidic, kills fish and coral reefs. Sugar. You have to know that this is glucose, and it's the basic unit of energy for all life. It's made by producers. Producers, again, take the light, they make glucose. This is our first level of the trophic pyramid or food chain. Then it's eaten by primary consumers. Call this Rudolph over here. Primary consumers eat producers. Then secondary consumers eat primary consumers. That could be our people. Lastly, oxygen. We need that to breathe. Another thing you need to know is food chains. Food chains, let's review. Light, 100% of energy, that goes into our producers. Unfortunately, only 10% of that goes into our consumers, and another 10% of that, or 1% at this point, goes to our secondary consumers. In the biosphere, they had chicken, goats, and pigs. Chicken for eggs, goats for milk, and pigs to eat the compost. For producers, they had things like sweet potatoes. Fun fact, the researchers in the biosphere ate so many sweet potatoes that they turned orange. The calluses on their hands were orange. They also had peanuts. Those were a great source of fat during their hard days in the biosphere. The researchers were also mostly vegetarian because, as you know, it saves energy to eat lower on the food pyramid. If you've got 100% of energy at producers, you get 10% of energy at your primary consumers. It pays to be a primary consumer. Third thing you need to know, water cycle. This is my drawing of the biosphere. Not so great right now, but it'll make sense later. They have water, we have evaporation, collects on the ceiling, condensation, and then gravity pulls it back down for some precipitation. This was a closed system. That means no water was added or removed. Think about your cup experiment that we did in science class with the water cycle. Now let's think about it a little more. Remember when I told you could be drinking dinosaur pee? Here we go. Cup of water goes into our researchers. Well, they pee it out, or it leaves the body one way or another, goes into some filtration systems, and then that water with nutrients and other bits goes into the soil. In the soil, our plants take out the nutrients and they transpire out the clean water. Remember plants sweating? Let's review that one more time. Water into our people into the toilet, out of the toilet to be filtered into the ground for our plants. Plants then transpire that pure H2O, which goes up into the air, condenses into some artificial clouds, and then precipitates back down into a glass of water. And we've started the cycle all over again. And fourth thing you need to understand the biosphere is pollination. They chose hummingbirds, bats, moths, and butterflies as their pollinators. They're important for keeping the plants healthy and producing enough food for all of our researchers. Last, decomposers. They went with ants, termites, and cockroaches as their key decomposers. And as you know, decomposers are important so we don't have waste building up. Let's begin our biosphere tour.
Earlier, we're about to begin our Biosphere 2 experience. This is the entire biosphere that we're going to learn about today. We're going to go into the rainforest section. There's the technosphere, where the researchers used to live during the experiment, and the farming section, where they had to produce all of their own food while they lived in this closed system. Remember your water cycle? That's right, closed system. Nothing went in or out. This is just like our water cycle experiment on a really big scale. Let's check it out.